Welcome back, Thrilligans. As promised, second stream of the day. It's going to be a real short one, though. Probably about half an hour, 45 minutes tops. I literally have 2 chapters I want to crank. That was a very... 2 chapters. I want to do 2 chapters. 2 chapters. That's about it. Maybe a third. I don't know. It depends. I just want to finish this first part. And when I get stuck in my head, I got to finish something. I got to do it. So, let's go. I'm going to hit this out. As you know, we left off. Georgina was doing the tour at Bishop's with Chase. We had a phone call Dunbar got from Floyd, with Floyd from who knows. That's him. What do we got here? A new like. Vanessa. Cheers. Thank you. Like I said, we got a couple people trickling in. Second stream of the day. Going to be a short one. Half an hour, 45 minutes. Couple chapters. Couple amazing chapters to go in this part. And I just feel like I need to get it done before I go pick up the kids. So, let's do this. Open quote. I'm sorry, comma. You're going to have to calm down, period. Who is this? Who are you? Question mark, close quote. Dunbar snapped into the phone, period to paragraph. Floyd was growing concerned now, comma. More so by Dunbar's tone than by the shrieky voice on the other end of the cell phone that he could pick up even though it was pressed against the big man's ear. Period to paragraph. Open quote. Who? Question mark, close quote to paragraph. More shrill responses, comma, during which Dunbar took his hand, covered the receiver of the phone, and mouthed the word Miranda Maxwell to Floyd, period to paragraph. Immediately catching on as to what the detective wanted him to do, comma, Floyd reached under his feet and grabbed the briefcase that he brought with him with the case notes, period. He quickly rifled through the pages, comma, before finding a sheet labeled Miranda Maxwell, period to paragraph. As his eyes scanned the page, comma, his heart rate continued to increase, period to paragraph. When he was done, comma, he put it back into the folder, rested both on his lap, comma, and then looked at Dunbar, who was still waiting patiently for his response. Period to paragraph, open quote. Her mother, comma, close quote. Floyd mouthed, period to paragraph. Clearly, comma, the big man was not as adept at reading lips as Floyd was, period to paragraph. He shrugged and shook his head, period to paragraph, open quote. Her mother, comma, close quote. Floyd said out loud this time, period, open quote. It's Madison's mother, period, close quote, into paragraph. The man seemed confused for a second, comma, and then a light bulb went off in his head, period to paragraph, open quote. Miranda? Question mark. Is this Miranda Maxwell? Question mark. Close quote. New paragraph. Open quote. Yes, it's Miranda fucking Maxwell. Where is my Maddie? Exclamation point. I got a call from my ex-husband saying that some FBI agent told him that she was dead! Exclamation point. That she committed suicide! Exclamation point. Close quote. New paragraph. Floyd cringed at the reference to him, period, new paragraph. He also wondered how the woman had possibly gotten Dunbar's personal cell phone number, period, new paragraph. Open quote. Miranda, comma, I'm very sorry that you were not informed, comma, but M dash, close quote, new paragraph, open quote, you're lying, comma, close quote, the woman hissed, period, open quote, you're fucking lying, period, close quote, new paragraph. Dunbar pulled over to the side of the road, comma, and then put the phone on speaker and put it on the dash, period. This last act was mostly unnecessary given how loud Miranda was yelling into her end of the phone, period, new paragraph, open quote. Miranda, comma, I would much prefer to do this in person, period. Is there a place that we can meet up, question mark? Close quote, new paragraph. Open quote. Liar! Exclamation point, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. Mrs. Maxwell, M dash. Please, comma, can we meet up, period. My name is Detective Dunbar, and my badge number is M dash, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. I know what the fuck your name is, period. I called you, comma, remember? Question mark, close quote, new paragraph. Dunbar sighed, period, new paragraph. Open quote. Yes, comma, I'm sorry, period. But listen, comma, I would love to do this in person, period. Like I said, comma, I would much prefer to do this in person, period. I know how tragic the loss of M dash, close quote, new paragraph. No. Open quote. If this is some kind of joke, M dash, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. It's not a joke, comma, close quote, Dunbar snapped, period, open quote. Give me your address and I'll come see you, period. I have no idea why you were not informed of this before, period, close quote, in a paragraph. Floyd felt like sinking further into his seat. Period, new paragraph, open quote. Okay, comma, close quote, Miranda said, comma, finally calming down a little, period. Then she rattled off an address, which Floyd quickly typed into his phone, period, new paragraph. Open quote, we'll be there in 10, comma, close quote, Dunbar said, hanging up the phone, period, new paragraph. There was a tension in the car now, comma, brought on by Miranda, but facilitated by what Floyd had done, period, new paragraph. Open quote, I didn't know, M dash. I went to visit the man, comma, Madison's father, comma, and he basically attacked me, period. It was all I could do to get out of there without him beating the shit out of me, period. I didn't know that their parents were separated, period. Close quote in the paragraph. Dunbar nodded, comma, his jaw clenched, period, to paragraph. Open quote, but I should have known, comma, close quote. Floyd continued, period, open quote. I should have looked, period. I'm sorry, period, close quote in the paragraph. New paragraph. Dunbar once again said nothing, period, new paragraph. Apparently, knowing the neighborhood that Miranda had mentioned, comma, Dunbar drove through the streets without guidance, period. But when he got to a particular intersection, comma, he slowed and asked Floyd for direction, period, in the paragraph, open quote. Turn right, period. It's just around the corner here, period, close quote. Floyd's voice was meek, comma, but this time he wasn't stuttering, period, new paragraph. Dunbar drove to the address, comma, slowing as he passed the large houses on the Upper East Side, period, new paragraph. Eventually stopped outside of one that had a white picket fence going around the exterior, period, new paragraph. Open quote. I'm sorry, comma, close quote, Floyd said as he got out of the car, period. He knew that he should probably stop apologizing, comma, but he couldn't help himself, period, new paragraph. Open quote. Let's just keep this as calm as we can, comma, close quote, Dunbar said as he made his way up the walk to the door, period. The paragraph. Floyd was in the process of answering, comma, of saying something along the lines of he intended to, comma, when the door flung open and a woman nearly leapt out at them, period. The only thing Floyd noticed was a swash of brown hair that literally grazed his face as she came stumbling down at them, period, new paragraph, open quote. Where's Miranda? Maddie, question mark. Where's Maddie? Question mark, close quote, in the paragraph. The woman actually grabbed Dunbar first, comma, clutching him by the collar of his shirt, period, in the paragraph. Dunbar was startled by this, even though he should have expected something of the like. Comma, and even though the woman was small in stature, comma, her veracity nearly toppled them both, period, to paragraph. Without thinking, comma, Floyd reacted, comma, reaching in between them and slowly pushing them apart, period, to paragraph. Miranda Maxwell looked at Floyd, comma, a sneer on her face, comma, but then let go of Dunbar and receded back into her home, period, to paragraph, open quote. She wouldn't do this, comma, close quote. The woman said, her face breaking, period, open quote. My Maddie wouldn't do this, period. There's no way she did this, period, close quote, in paragraph. Floyd couldn't help but think that these were the exact words, or very similar to the words that the woman's ex-husband had uttered earlier in that day, period, in paragraph. The surroundings were different, M dash. Mr. Maxwell lived in a average-sized apartment building, while Mrs. Maxwell lived in a large house on the Upper East Side, M dash. But the reactions were very similar, period, to paragraph. Angry, period, to paragraph. Floyd knew nothing about the relationship, comma, but he doubted that they'd gotten through their years of marriage without one of them grabbing each other the way that first Mr. XYZ had grabbed Floyd and now Mrs. Maxwell had grabbed Dunbar, period, new paragraph, open quote. We're still trying to work out the details, comma. Work out exactly what happened, comma, close quote, Dunbar said in a relatively calm voice as he followed the woman to her house, period. Floyd got in line behind him, period, new paragraph, open quote. Well, she didn't kill herself, comma. There's no fucking way she would kill herself, period, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. It's still an open investigation, comma, and I'm very sorry for your M dash, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. Brandy, get back in your room! Exclamation point. Get back in your room! Exclamation point, close quote. Miranda suddenly shouted, period. Floyd looked up the staircase and spied a young boy who was probably around 7 or 8 years old with Brown hair cut straight across his forehead, period to paragraph. His eyes went wide when his mother shouted at him, and he scampered back to his room, period to paragraph. Floyd had little experience delivering bad news to parents, comma. He had none when it came to delivering news to siblings, period to paragraph. And not that she would be expected to, comma, but it was clear that Miranda hadn't any experience either, period to paragraph, open quote. The woman then whipped around and glared at Dunbar, comma, ignoring Floyd completely. For now, period to paragraph. Floyd was grateful, period, as Dunbar attempted to calm down, temper her fury, comma, explained to her that it was an ongoing investigation and that they were determined to find out exactly what had happened, comma. He allowed his eyes to drift about the surroundings, taking in literally looks like I'm in the center of the sun right now. I don't know why it's so bright. Oh my God. He had previously tried to do what Chase did, comma, when he'd arrived at the scene of the crime, comma, to soak in any sort of details that he couldn't consciously pick up, comma, to develop a narrative that would tell him itself, comma, one that would reveal exactly why these girls did these things, period to paragraph. But once again, comma, this particular skill eluded him, period. He noticed that there were several pictures going up the staircase of what looked to be like the boy who had spied over the railing, period. Only in the pictures he was frail looking, comma, and there was even one when he was tucked in the corner of a wheelchair, period to paragraph. Most of the pictures were of the boy, comma, which Floyd found to be a little odd, period to paragraph. There was one of Madison, comma, which looked like it was taken a few years back, comma, her arm with Miranda's arm around her waist, period to paragraph. The woman looked uncomfortable. The girl looked as if she wanted to be anywhere but here, period. This alone wasn't a very telling fact, semicolon. If Floyd was any judge of age, comma, he assumed that she was around 16 in the image, comma, maybe an old-looking 15, comma, and no teenager wanted to be seen with the arm of their mother wrapped around them, period to paragraph. There were no pictures of Mr. XYZ, period to paragraph, open quote, let's go, comma, close quote, Dunbar huffed, period. Open quote. Floyd glanced over at Dunbar and was surprised to see that he had already backed partway to the door, period to paragraph, even though he lacked Chase's ability to see what the victims had seen, comma. Apparently, Floyd was just as good as losing track of time, period to paragraph, and space, period to paragraph. He took 2 steps and nearly tripped over a small lamp by the side wall, period. It seemed. New paragraph. Floyd wanted to ask Dunbar what had happened, comma, how he'd managed to calm the woman down to the point where she was sitting in the couch, comma, just glaring angrily at the wall, comma, but he knew better than to do it here, period to paragraph. Outside, comma, Floyd kept his mouth shut until they're back in the car, period to paragraph. Open quote. What a piece of work, comma, close quote, Dunbar muttered under his breath, period to paragraph. Open quote. I could see why her and the husband didn't get along, comma, close quote, Floyd remarked, period to paragraph. Dunbar looked at him curiously, period. And Floyd qualified the statement, period, new paragraph, open quote. He was just as aggressive as she was, comma, came right at me, period. Although he's a hell of a lot bigger than she, period, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. I bet they got into many fights, comma, those two, period, close quote, new paragraph. As Dunbar started to drive away and back towards 62nd Precinct, comma, this thought lingered for a moment, period, new paragraph, open quote. You think, ... you think that maybe that had something to do with it? Question mark, close quote. Floyd asked, period, new paragraph. Dunbar shrugged, period, new paragraph, open quote. You know what, Floyd, comma, I have no fucking idea, period. I could tell you that was one messed up family before Madison committed suicide, comma, and it's going to be an even more messed up family now, period. Did you see the boy? Question mark, close quote in the paragraph. Instead of answering, Floyd took the folder out again and scrolled through the pages, comma. Tucked behind the one outlining Miranda Maxwell was a picture of the boy that he had seen both in the photographs and on the top of the stairs, period, in the paragraph. He held it out for Dunbar to see, who glanced at it, and then his eyes returned to the road, period, in the paragraph, open quote. Randy XYZ, comma, close quote, Dunbar said aloud, period, open quote. How old is he? Question mark, close quote, in the paragraph, open quote. 8, ... almost 9, comma, close quote, Floyd answered, period, in the paragraph. Open quote. More silence, period, new paragraph. Open quote. I think we should speak to him, comma, close quote, Floyd offered, period, new paragraph, open quote. I think he could tell us a lot, comma, close quote, Dunbar said, period, open quote. The problem is, comma, I doubt that either the parents can let him speak, period. And as a minor, comma, there's not much we can do, period, close quote, in the paragraph. Floyd knew this, comma, he was just spitballing, period, in the paragraph, but he really did hope that one day they'd be able to speak to Randy, comma, to see exactly what had happened in that family home, period, in the paragraph, to see if there's any link between the dysfunctional family that inevitably existed and the fact that Madison had committed suicide, period, in the paragraph, grasping at straws, comma, surely, comma, because the other parents of the other dead girls didn't seem as dysfunctional, period, in the paragraph, open quote. Maybe this will just be one of those M dash close quote in the paragraph. Another loud sound entered the car, comma, not this. But this time, comma, it didn't originate from Dunbar's cell phone, period, in the paragraph. Instead, comma, a crackle and a hiss emitted from the radio embedded in the dash, period, in the paragraph, up a quote. Detective Dunbar? Question mark, close quote in the paragraph. Detective Dunbar's hand shot out and he grabbed the walkie-talkie thingy. And pressed the talk button, period, in the paragraph, up a quote. Detective Dunbar here, comma, close quote, he said, comma, his voice returning to the professional tone that he'd acquired upon speaking to Mrs. Maxwell, period, in the paragraph, up a quote. Dunbar, comma, it's Tony, period, close quote in the paragraph. Floyd made a face, period, in the paragraph. Who the hell is Tony? Question mark, new paragraph. But evidently, comma, Dunbar knew exactly who Tony was, period, in the paragraph, up a quote. Tony, comma, tell me you got an update on the cell phones, comma. You get a bite on that? Question mark. You see what the text was that came through? Question mark, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. Nah, comma, not on that yet, period. We got another problem, period, close quote, new paragraph. Floyd pushed himself into a straighter seated position, period, new paragraph, open quote. Yeah, question mark, what's that? Question mark, close quote. Dunbar asked, period, new paragraph, open quote. We got another one, comma, close quote. Tony said softly. Period, new paragraph, open quote. Another one, question mark, close quote. Floyd spoke up without thinking, period, new paragraph. Dunbar didn't even acknowledge the comment, period, new paragraph, open quote. What are you talking about, question mark. Another what, question mark, close quote, new paragraph. There was a short pause before the crackling resumed, period, new paragraph, open quote. We got another suicide, comma, Detective Dunbar, period. Another girl. All right. I was thinking about keeping that chapter as the last chapter before the break for the part, but I think I might keep it like that. I'm not sure. Okay, well, language alert. Hey, they're swearing my books. You don't like it? Get over it. Out. Peace out. I get a lot of bad reviews about that. You use the Lord's name in vain. You swear. Yeah, I try to write books that are realistic. I would say on the exaggerated side of realistic, but I still try to keep them some element of realism in them. And in my world, people swear. It just happens. Sky asked earlier what I meant by, do you feel... Oh, do I think the book has to be fat to be a good book? Hell no. Some of the best books, like 1984 by Orwell, is super short. Some of the best books are super long too. One of my favorites is The Idiot by Dostoevsky, and it's huge. I think people get caught up in this, and it's just another hindrance to slow you down, right? Like, how long does my book have to be? Literally, you can go onto K-boards or other forums, and everyone asks this. My book is X number of words. What should it be priced at? What is it considered? And really, no one gives a shit. Let's be honest. I told this story before. I'll do it really quickly. But the reason why most books around adult novels around 300 pages, at least in the thriller genre, is because the big publishers did some of their focus groups, and they found if the book was too small, right, then people would be, if they're torn between two books, they'd pick the larger one. They think they're getting more value for the money. So, books are about the same price, irrespective of page number, barring extremes on either end. And then if the book was too thick, then it would cost too much to physically print it. So the companies would, publishing companies. Sorry, man, I'm super excited about these chapters. So the publishing companies would lose money per volume sold just because it was too long. So they said, we found a secret sweet spot that's like 300 pages. Either bulk it or cut it to reach that amount. And if you look at all the books in those series that you mentioned, Harry Potter, the first one is fairly short. They don't want a huge investment if no one buys it. And as the series goes on, the books get fatter and fatter and fatter. I mean, everyone who read Harry Potter 6 is going to buy Harry Potter 7. And they're just going to do it. So it doesn't really matter. You could jack up the price a little bit too, which I'm sure they did. So I don't really know if it doesn't make a book better or worse. A book is a book. If you're referring to how I do these project goals here, project targets, you can see that it's around 65,000. These are just like guidelines for me. I don't think it's fair to write a series where the books are all like 500 pages and then you slip in a 100-page book. I don't think, maybe fair is the wrong word, but I don't think you would actually end up, the stories, if you write, let me try again. If you're going to be consistent with the way your characters behave, right, and the way your books are plotted, then I think naturally they're all going to fall in the same kind of page length range. And I think that's something to strive for. So the Chase books are anywhere from 100,000 words to, I think the shortest one is like 55 or 60,000 words. I just put that as a placeholder, a guiding point, but I don't really care. I will just tell the story as I tell the story. I'm sorry, that was a really long answer to your question, but I hope it helps. And now with, I sell most books. Most of my books are sold in electronic format on Kindle, so people don't know how long the book is. Like, they have some arbitrary paging system, but people aren't going to be like, oh, look, I mean, if you pay $10 and you get a 4-page book, you're gonna be like, okay, that's horseshit. But barring those extremes, Sky. I know you mentioned that earlier. Why do you like killing your characters? I don't like killing anybody. I'm a gentle teddy bear. I just try to keep the characters true to themselves. And so with that, I don't want to spoil anything, but with Beckett, it comes up why he does stuff, or why he does the things that he does. But in general, well, anyways, I don't want to spoil it, but that's in his DNA, let's say. That's in his makeup to cause harm to certain people. He's kind of like a vigilante. He's got his own brand of vigilante justice, let's say. A killer with a conscience, so to speak. So I think that's what he's all about. That's his whole MO. So if he stopped doing that all of a sudden, which he may or may not do, I don't know how far you've read, you got to there has to be a reason for it. All right. I'm gonna get back at it. I gotta go soon. I think actually I'm just gonna do one more chapter. I think I managed to fit it in. I keep forgetting. Thanks, Alexis, for the like. Oh, by the way, this program that I use is called Scrivener. It's fantastic. I use it. It allows me to organize all the chapters separately. So it allows for very easy navigation throughout the entire book, and I can move chapters around, and super easy. I use this to start and also to edit, and then I'll drop it into Word, and that's what I send to my editors. And I also like the Word has it keeps getting better, but the grammar function on there, the spelling and grammar function keeps getting better. And then I also have and then I also use Grammarly, which is free, which works great. Sky asked, will my daughter be a writer too? I have 3 of them. I have 3 daughters, and it's funny because you know how most kids kind of emulate their parents to better or worse degrees. My eldest daughter is already writing her own stuff. She's only 8, but she's writing, and she, occasionally get these things that come home. It's the cliched question for the teacher: what would you like to do when you grew up? And she says she wants to be an author too, but we'll see if that pans out. But she loves to read. She loves to read. She has her own Kindle, and she crushes books. I had to get Kindle Unlimited for her just because it was costing me way too much money to buy her a new book literally every day. So that makes me happy. Is there any chance we can have a signed book from you? So yeah, I do a lot of giveaways through Facebook. I'll probably do one through Twitch, actually. I'll wait until I get to affiliate status, and then I'll do a giveaway there. I don't have an actual store or anything where you can buy paperback copies signed by me. I mean, the idea of holding actual physical copies, the way it works is if you order a paperback book of mine off of Amazon, then Amazon will print it and ship it to you. So it doesn't exist until you print it or until you order it. And so to get a box of those and to just house them, it seems like a nightmare to me. So I don't know if I'll do any sales of that, but I definitely do giveaways all the time. All right. Also, logistically, it kind of sucks because to get my books sent to me, it costs me a lot. I got to pay for import duties over the border, which eats into any profit that I may have, which is minimal for paperback, and it takes forever, and then I have to ship it out. So yeah, it's an expensive and logistical nightmare for me. Open quote. I love it, comma, close quote. Georgina nearly whispered, period, open quote. I love it, period. Please, comma, Auntie Chase, period. please, comma, I want to go here, period. I want to go to Bishop's, period. I want to be in X and Y's class, period. Please, period, close quote in the paragraph. Chase pinched the bridge of her nose, period, in the paragraph, open quote. I told you not to get your hopes up, comma, close quote, Chase said, period. New paragraph. Either Georgina didn't hear her, comma, or chose to ignore her, period, in the paragraph, open quote. I love it here, period. I want to go here, period. Close quote in the paragraph, open quote. Okay, comma, Georgina, period. I know you want to go here, period. But I just, ... Close quote in the paragraph, open quote. Please. Georgina pleaded, period, in the paragraph. Chase looked up at her niece through the in the rearview mirror, period, in the paragraph. Open quote, we'll talk about it, period, close quote in the paragraph. The girl slumped back in her chair, comma, a dejected look coming across her face, period, in the paragraph. Open quote. I just said we'll talk about it, comma, I didn't say no, comma, close quote. Chase clarified as she pulled out of the parking lot, period, in the paragraph. The stopping guard lady waved, comma, and Chase gave her a quick head flick before pulling out, period, in the paragraph, open quote. You're gonna say no, comma, I know it, comma, close quote. Georgina said petulantly, period, in the paragraph. Open quote, Georgina, comma, please, period. I'm trying here, period, close quote in the paragraph, open quote. Why can't I go here, question mark? Louisa sends her boys here, period. It's a nice school and everyone is so nice to me, period. Close quote in the paragraph, open quote. Georgina, comma. I don't want to talk about this now, period, close quote in the paragraph. Apparently, comma, Georgina did want to talk about it now, period, in the paragraph. The way she latched onto things, comma, the way she was then able to calm herself down or let go reminded Chase very much of her sister, period, in the paragraph, of how they used to fight when they were children, period, in the paragraph. Chase had to remind herself that this wasn't her sister, period, that she was only a child, comma, and now Chase was in charge, period, in the paragraph. She wasn't gonna fuck this one up the way she'd fucked up with her sister, comma. That was for sure. Period in the paragraph. Open quote. I really want to go here, period. I don't want to go to that shit school. Elm Ridge, period. I want to go here, period, close quote. She stomped her foot angrily, period, open quote. I want to go to Bishop's, period, close quote in the paragraph, open quote. Watch your mouth, comma. Georgina, period, close quote in the paragraph, open quote. Shit, shit, shit. Period, close quote in the paragraph. Open quote. Georgina! Exclamation point, close quote in the paragraph. Open quote. What? Question mark. You swear all the time, period. Why can't I swear, period? Open quote. Because I'm an adult, period. Close quote in the paragraph, open quote. Well, then why can't I go to this school? Exclamation point, close quote. Her voice was bordering on a shout now, comma, and the tone grated on Chase's final nerve, period, in the paragraph. She laid one arm across the passenger seat headrest, comma, and leaned back. Craned her neck over into the back seat, period, in the paragraph, open quote. Because I can't look after you when you're here, period. Chase shouted, her voice far louder than Georgina's ever had been, period, open quote. That's why! Exclamation point, close quote in the paragraph. Something crossed Georgina's face then, comma. Something that Chase hadn't seen for a long time, period, in the paragraph. That she hadn't seen since Georgina had been on the stage, comma, when... on the stage at the Butterfly Gardens. Butterfly Gardens. Comma. Moments before, her mother had been killed, period, in the paragraph. Fear, period, in the paragraph, open quote. I'm sorry, comma, close quote. Chase grumbled, turning back to the front. Her eyes back to the road, period, open quote. I'm sorry, period, close quote, new paragraph, star, new paragraph, period, new paragraph, open quote. I'm not hungry, comma, close quote, Georgina said, comma, removing her shoes and starting towards a room, period, new paragraph, open quote. Georgina, comma, I said I was sorry, period. I also said M dash, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. I said I'm not hungry, comma, close quote, Georgina repeated, period. Then she proceeded to her room and closed the door, period, new paragraph. She didn't quite slam it, comma, but it verged on aggressive, period, new paragraph. Chase stared for quite a while at that closed door, comma, wondering what to do next, period, new paragraph. The only thing she knew was that she fucked up, period. She'd fucked up big time, period, new paragraph, as she needing to clear her head, comma, Chase walked over to the couch and sat down, period. She flicked it on, comma, wanting something mind-numbing, comma, a real estate improvement show or a Bachelor-like spin-off. Or a Bachelor-like spin-off, comma, to take her mind off things. But every channel seemed to be showing the same thing, period, new paragraph. It took a while for Chase to realize this, comma, however, semicolon, she was so deep in her own thoughts, period, new paragraph. Not one particularly adept at introspection, comma, Chase tried to nonetheless, period, new paragraph. She'd never snapped at Georgina before, period. Never, period, new paragraph. Sure, comma, they got into, oh my god, fuck you, dragon. She'd never snapped at Georgina before. Sure, comma, in the 18 months that they lived together, comma, they'd had arguments, comma, disagreements, comma, and while Georgina was on the typically a well-behaved kid, comma, she was just that, colon, a kid, period, new paragraph. But Chase had been able to manage this in stride, period. After all, comma, dealing with serial murderers and her own demons had taught her a deal of patience she didn't know she possessed, period, new paragraph. But today, today she had lost it, period, new paragraph. She shouted at Georgina, comma, she'd made it seem like it was the girl's fault for what had happened to her, comma, happened to them, period, new paragraph, and that wasn't fair, period, new paragraph. Maybe Louise is right, comma, Chase thought, period. Maybe I do need a break. M dash, maybe we both do, period, new paragraph. Chase's breast hit. Breast? Chase's breathe. Fuck off. Ah! Jason's brief flock of marg. Chase's breath hitched, comma, and it was all she could do to force away the tingly sensation in her lower lid, period, new paragraph. It wasn't the end of the world, comma, but it showed her that she hadn't all the control that she thought she did, period, new paragraph. Shaking her head, comma, Chase's eyes finally focused on the image on the television screen, period, new paragraph. It was of a girl, comma, a tall blonde girl, comma, clearly a high school age student based on the uniform, period, new paragraph. The ticker read Sky Derringer found dead in her room, period. Of apparent suicide, period, to paragraph. This alone might not have piqued Chase's interest, comma, as unfortunately, comma, suicides were becoming more common amongst this age group, period, to paragraph. But when the next picture showed, comma, one with not just one girl, comma, not with just Sky Derringer, comma, but of 5 girls all laughing with their arms wrapped around each other, comma, Chase leaned all the way forward, comma, getting as close as she could get, period, to paragraph. No, comma, tell me it's not true, comma, she thought, period, to paragraph. But the talking head verbalized what she was dreading, period, to paragraph, open quote. Just earlier this morning, comma, 4 of Sky's friends had also been found committing suicide. Oh my God. 4 of Sky's friends also committed suicide, comma, by stepping in front of the 32nd Street subway station, period. To date, comma, police have it is clear by the time of death, although police have not issued a statement about Sky's death, comma, and how it might be related to the other girls, comma, they have said that the time of death was earlier today, period. Without specifics, comma, we cannot conclude that it was done at the same time as a coordinated effort, comma, but it's certainly suggestive of something of the like, period, to paragraph. Chase's jaw hung open now, period, to paragraph. Not 4 girls dead, comma, but 5, period, to paragraph. Her own words echoed in her head, comma, the words that she'd used to tell Dunbar and Floyd that she wasn't going to join this case, period, to paragraph. It's not like there's somewhere out there killing these girls, comma. It's not like there was any threat to others, period, to paragraph. Only now, comma, it seemed like there might be, period, to paragraph. With a trembling hand, comma, with legs that seemed like jello, comma, Chase rose to her feet and made her way across the room towards the table by the front door, period, to paragraph. Then she picked up the phone, comma, scrolled through her contacts and pressed send, period, to paragraph. As the phone rang out, comma, she locked her eyes on Georgina's still closed door, period, to paragraph. I'm sorry, comma. Georgina, period. I'm sorry, period, to paragraph, up a quote. Chase, comma. What happened at the school? Question mark. Close quote. Louisa's concerned voice asked, period, to paragraph. The question confused Chase, period, to paragraph, up a quote. Nothing. What? M dash, close quote, new paragraph, open quote. The boys said that they saw you there, comma. They said that you yelled at them, period, close quote, new paragraph. Chase cringed, period, new paragraph. Did I yell at them? Question mark. Did I yell at them the way that I yelled at Georgina? Question mark, new paragraph, open quote. Chase? Question mark. You okay? Question mark. Close quote. Real concern now, comma. The kind of concern that Louisa had shown her the day that Chase had tried to swallow all of her medication at once at the psych facility, period, to paragraph. Right before she'd saved Chase's life, period, to paragraph. Open quote. I think Louisa, comma, can you help me? Question mark, close quote. Chase asked, comma, closing her eyes now, period, to paragraph, open quote. Of course, comma, whatever you need, period, close quote, to paragraph, Open quote. Can you come here? Question mark. Can you come look after Georgina for a bit? Question mark. Close quote. New paragraph. Open quote. Yes, I can do that. Period. I could bring her here and she could hang out with the boys. Period. Why? Question mark. What's up? Question mark. Close quote. New paragraph. Chase sighed deeply, comma, and wiped away a tear that formed and welled in her bottom lid. Period. New paragraph. Open quote. I think I need to go away for a while. Period. I think I need to get back to work. Period. Close quote. All right. Okay. So that little week ending, I think I need to get back to work. As I was saying, multiple streams ago, or in multiple streams, I really like to end each chapter with a wallop, like a strong statement or a mini cliffhanger or something, and that doesn't fit the bill. But I really like where that went. We do now know what has happened, so that Chase is going to go back. We know what has drove her back. There's another suicide that happened around the same time. So that is going to be it for today. My voice is hoarse. I don't know how many words I did because I cleared it, but I think in around like 10,000. I'm super happy with that. I think the story is really going along, and tomorrow it's going to be even faster. Oh, wow. Okay. Got a whole bunch of comments. Okay. Judy, thank you very much for the like. Much appreciated. Anybody else in the chat, you can support the stream for free by hitting that like. And I think you could type, if you're on Facebook, the exclamation point notify and not exhalation point like my program always says I say, but exclamation point notify, and they'll tell you every time I go live. Everyone else, including Sky and everyone else who commented and others lurkers who just hung out for a little bit, I much appreciate it. I'm hoping that notify works. I will be on tomorrow. I can't go to the gym because it's closed, so I'm hoping to be more on time at around 10 o'clock. Last question, Sky. What's your favorite book series you made? Hey, that's like asking me which daughter of mine is my favorite. They're all my babies. They my babies. Depends what you're into. If you're into horror, I'd push you towards the what I like the least. I like them all, man. The horror, I'd push you towards the Haunted series. It's a good starter. For thriller, I think Butterfly Kisses, because all my series in the thriller genre, so that's all the Detective Damian Drake books, all the Chase Adams FBI thriller books, which is the one that you're listening to now, all of the Beckett Campbell books, the Medical Examiner, and the Tommy Wilde books, they're all in the same world. They're all in the same New York bubble, and they often come in and out and weave into each other's storylines. So that being said, if you want to read them all, I suggest you start with Butterfly Kisses. Like, you don't have to, but ideally you start with Butterfly Kisses, and then you read 3 books in the Drake series, then move to Chase, and then weave back and forth. Yeah, no, they're all my favorites. Come on. I try to get, with every book that I write, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, I just try to write a little bit better book, maybe good grammar too. I try to just improve a little bit, make it a little bit more unputdownable, something, you just tighten things up a little bit more. So after 50 books, it's hard to improve on perfection, but, I'm trying. I tease. I have to go, got to go pick up the girls from school. Again, thank you very much for joining me. Tap that like, hit the follow, exclamation point, notify, and I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to get another big chunk of adverse effects done. Take care, guys. Stay safe.